Hey folks, welcome back to another live stream. It has been a little while. I've had a very interesting day with the simulator actually. So since Sim Update 15, I think it would be fair to say that we've probably had the best period of stability that we've had in the sim for ages. I've probably just given this the complete kiss of death, but I've not had a crash for quite some time. I've done a number of consecutive flights. I've even done a number of sort of like 3 or 4 hour flights with no problems, which was not conceivable so long ago. But I am struggling with the data services, so I keep getting that infamous it's lost your online connection. It kills all of the Bing satellite imagery, so you end up with the not brilliant looking auto-gen scenery, etc. So seems to be more when I taxi, less so when we're up in the air, where I have managed to cache some data. So we'll see how we get on. But we are flying from Bristol to Geneva today. We are going to file our flight plan via SimBrief. We'll be using BEYONDATC today. So we are flying a TUI flight today, and we are Tomjet 527. We are departing Bristol, flying to Geneva. We are a Boeing 738 this evening. Boeing 737-800. We are all economy, I'm afraid, folks. There is no first or business class on our pleasure cruise for this evening. We are going to be fully loaded with passengers, all 184 seats full, and we are going to be full of cargo. It's going to reduce that down because we'll exceed the maximum takeoff weight, but that's the beauty of SimBrief. It will do all of that automatically for us. Our route, so it's going to be the Horf 1 X-ray departure out of Bristol and a loose 2 November arrival into Geneva. So let us just check that that is a valid flight plan. If you're not familiar with this, this is Eurocontrol. This is a real thing. This is where real pilots come and validate their flight plans, but they do, I think, rather nicely allow you to set up an account for simulation as well. So there's no errors in that flight plan. So that's checking things like you're not using a departure like a SID or a star that you shouldn't for your aircraft type. There might be mandatory particular routings, etc., that you need to follow, etc. So that's just a nice way of making sure, like particularly if you're flying on VATSIM and stuff like that, that's a good thing to do so that you don't get frustrated controllers when you're trying to fly out of the TLA departure out of Edinburgh in a jet aircraft that explicitly prohibits it, as an example. Right, that's all done. Cost index of 18. We will generate that flight. Lovely jubbly, 29,000 feet, but BEYONDATC does have a habit of allocating different altitudes. So I've seen like that, like where SimBrief is saying 29,000 feet, and you end up at 35,000 feet, but that's okay. Let's check our takeoff performance. So keeps wanting flaps 15. It's been doing this to me all day. And maybe I should listen to it. But I'm not going to. Because I guarantee you if I put in flaps 5, this last reject point and the V1, VR rotation speeds will all come further back down the runway. You mark my words, folks. You watch it in real time. This is human intervention over... There we go. See? There we go. I think we will go flaps 5 and ignore what Simbrief is telling us. Right. Let's get our flight plan loaded into Active Sky. I'm very impressed with Active Sky, actually. I've seen mixed reviews of it online. I'm a fan. I definitely get a sense the weather behaves, I think, much more realistically at higher altitudes with it. The cloud cover it gives, I think, is loads better as well. Interestingly, and see in the background, you can see that the weather just updated on the basis of us updating a flight plan. Let's get Beyond ATC loaded up. Boom, boom, boom. Loading Bristol and Geneva. See, that was nice and slick. Nice and slick. Okay. Tomjet 527, folks. That's how we're rolling this evening. Probably would be helpful if I put my cameras on, wouldn't it? That's the VR view. That's got the cameras on. There we go. That's better. That's better. Right. Yes, alcohol fueled as always, folks, this evening. So we're the mighty fine asphalt dry cider this evening for a rather warm Sunday evening here in the UK. But yeah, as always, it's a virtual reality flight, so let's go and get ourselves into the sim. I'm using open kneeboard so we can jot down notes in VR. I don't actually know how you would do this without it. I've done a video on open kneeboard. Dead handy little application to use. Marvelous. Jolly good. Right. You can't see the open kneeboard, unfortunately. That's the only shame of it, because of the way that it injects itself into the Open XR runtime. But I promise you, I've not gone mad. I'm not just scribbling. I'm not just scribbling for the sake of scribbling and having lost my mind. Okie dokie. Right. So, gonna act as if we need to be refueled. Lower that fuel down. We'll use GSX to come and load us up with fuel. Let's get Tablet. I am not a fan of PMDG's tablet, so I like this all-in-one tablet. It's bigger, it's easier to see, it's got much more than the two tiles that and yes, we even have a way of bringing BEYONDATC in here. Right. Let's get SimBrief loaded. And what's our off-block time? That's going to be 1850. Got bags of time, bags of time. We might even get away a little early. That's a flight I did earlier that you've seen me do. Edinburgh to Bristol 100 times. Let's do something different. Okay, there we go. Right, let's get ground power. And we'll get GSX refueling us. SimBrief, okay, request refueling.
Refueling truck is on its way.
Lovely
Please
jubbly.
don't load aircraft until the fuel truck arrives and ask to do it.
Right. Feeling a little short, so let's just... That's a bit better. Right. The aircraft alive, straight onto ground power. And we'll get the IRS configuring.
Fuel truck is in position. Please don't load aircraft until the fuel truck arrives and ask to do it.
Probably get this dome light on as well, because I suspect it will be dark. It will start turning dark just as we're coming into final for Geneva, and then I won't want to be faffing about with it, so we'll get it on now. What fuel should be? Yep, that's close enough. So, yep, we're getting fueled up. Beautiful. The IRS is aligning. Probably a good idea for us to get the ATIS. One 126030.
Juliet. Bristol Airport information, Juliet. 1821 Zulu. Wind 260 at 6, ceiling 2200 overcast. Temperature 19er, dew point 15. QNH 1021. Landing and departing runway 27. Transition level 060. Advise on initial contact. You have information, Juliet.
Check that wind again. I think it's a 260.
Bristol Airport information, Juliet. 1821 Zulu. Wind 260 at 6, ceiling 2200 overcast. Temperature 19er, dew point 15. QNH 1021. Landing and departing runway 27. Transition level 060. Advise on initial contact. You have information, Juliet. Bristol Airport information, Juliet.
Bristol ground, Tomjet 527, radio check.
Tomjet 527, reading you loud and clear.
Jolly good. Right, so our departure is... we're runway 27, so Hawthorne 1 X-ray. That fuel truck done yet? It is not done. Okay, so we'll get ourselves clearance. Bristol ground. Good evening, Tomjet 527. Type Boeing 738 at stand 23 with information Juliet QNH 1021. Request IFR clearance to Geneva.
Tomjet 527 Bristol delivery. Information Juliet correct. Expect runway 27 half 1 X-ray departure. Squawk 551
Clear to Geneva via the Horf 1 X-ray departure. Squawk 5513.
Tomjet 527 read back correct. Contact tower 133.85 when ready for pushback or engine start.
Tower on 133.85 when ready for push and start. Tomjet 527. That fuel truck. Yep, they're done. Right, let's get some catering.
Catering vehicles are on
We'll be going with Cuisine Air this evening. Okay, let's start getting the aircraft set up. Doo-doo. EGGD Gate 23. Runway 27 this evening. And we are going to Lima Sierra Golf Golf. We are Tomjet 527. Runway 27, Horfer 1 X-ray departure. And our route L607. L607 to Al-Had. And we are direct mid. Top one. Direct to mid. UL612. Res me. UM975. Peckham or Pekin. The IRS is aligned. Lovely jubbly. We should probably get our passengers boarding.
Boarding requested.
Direct Pillu. So picking direct Pillu. Direct pin up. Direct Pixus. Direct PBAT. Direct Lusa. Pixus PBAT. Lusa. Execute. Right. Reserves this evening are 1.8. Plus index
Passengers boarding started.
is 18. The passengers are boarding. Oh, not quite yet. Waiting for the bus. Waiting for the bus. Okay, so we are going to be cruising, we think, at 290. I'd wager money that we end up higher than that. Execute that. N1 limit. So, short runway here at Bristol, so we're not going to derate the engine. Flaps 5 in defiance of sim brief, which gives us a V1 speed of 142 knots, rotation at 144 knots, and V2 at 152 knots. Lovely jubbly. Let's just check our route. Makes some sense. That all looks very sensible. Marvellous. Okay. I don't know why that landing gear lever is up. In fact, I do. It'll be when I connected the tablet. Very frustrating that it does that. You can seem to connect any sort of Bluetooth device. It immediately pulls the gear lever up. I have no idea why. Matthew Ward, hey, how you doing, buddy? Nice to have you on the stream. I'm just bashing the microphone there. So we've got an off-block time of 18:50. So we've still got 12 minutes to go. Plenty of time. Oh, no bus. No bus. It's a walk-in. It's a walk-in gate. So nice. I don't think they're gonna. I mean, they're boarding on 2 doors. I don't think it's going to take that long for them to board. So I think we should get the APU started. Whilst I have some cider. Oh. And control tower just there. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but you can actually see into the control tower, which is very nice. Right, so QNH 1021. We're expecting an altitude in Bristol of, altitude I should say, elevation of 622. That is broadly correct. We've got 5513 not in the box. I obviously got distracted doing that. 5513 in the box. APU is started, so let's get onto our power there. Cruising at 29,000 feet. I'm pretty certain Geneva is quite high. Yeah, elevation of 1400. We will get that in as well. Nice. Okay, so let's get our panel set up. In-screen heat is on. Hydraulic pumps on. Cool. Alright. Just wait for these pesky passengers to get on. Give them a bit of air conditioning while we're waiting to start. We take passenger comfort very seriously here at TUI. Auto throttle, VNAV, LNAV, nice. That's all in okay. Runways 267. Nice. And just in case we need it, pretty sure. So yeah, so we need to be between 3,600, where speed is limited 230 knots below. Oh, that is the right one, isn't it? Yeah, Horfer 1 X-ray. 230 knots below flight level 100 until established on the 087 track. The 087 track being that one there, so that's all relatively straightforward. Right. We get some panel lights and things just on a little bit where we've got 7 minutes to our off-block time. Come on, passengers. Got places to be. You can see the heat haze coming out the back of the aircraft there. The APU. Nice airport, Bristol. I've flown out of it many times, given that I used to live in Bristol. It's quaint would be a good description. It's a relatively small airport, actually, which takes an awful lot of the stress out when you're travelling. You're not negotiating your way around massively complex road systems, etc. But no jetways. No jetways at Bristol. It's either a bus or it's a walkout, as we've got here. The last time I flew out of Bristol, it was absolutely chucking it down. We got bussed out in EasyJet aircraft. They all sort of hang around here. So we got bussed out, and as we came out of the bus, in flip-flops, t-shirt, shorts, ready for a holiday. The UK just wanted to remind us before we left of how crap its weather is. Excuse my bad language. Okay, is that our passengers done? There's one slow person here. Last one on the aircraft. Come on, sunshine, keeping everyone waiting. We call him Mr. Laggard. Okay, that's good. So passengers are boarded. We refueled. We've got snacks, and we've got 5 minutes to go. Operate the stairs. Doors closing. Not entirely sure how that one's operating. It doesn't appear to have anybody operating it. It's a haunted set of stairs. Okay, let's get beacon on. And wanted us to go over the tower, didn't they? Bristol Tower, Tomjet 527. Request pushback and start. Beyond ATC is going to have a moment by the looks of it. Rid of ground power. An error has occurred. Goodness, goodness. What error could this be? Right, let's try again, shall we? Bristol Tower, Tomjet 527. Request pushback and start. Interesting. Shall we try? Oh, I didn't hear them say that. Pushback direction east. Push and start approved. Face east. Tomjet 527.
Tomjet 527, I didn't get that.
Push and start approved. Face east. Tomjet 527.
Tomjet 527 did not copy.
Okay, I think we're okay. It's having a moment. We'll see what happens. Oops.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback. Departure check completed. Bypass pin inserted.
Should probably get rid of the old chocks, get the parking brake on.
Locking gear.
So we want to be east, nose right.
Release parking brakes.
Release the parking brakes. Get
Commencing
the...
push. All engines clear.
Get those
Start
off.
at will.
And engine 2. Engine 2's coming up. There we go, 24, introducing fuel. BEYONDATC is not going mad at us, so it appears to be okay. There we go, there's all the connection lost. Rubbish. Don't worry about that in a second. Always just as you start to taxi. Right, M2
Set
coming up
parking
on
brakes.
engine 1.
Waiting your confirmation for good engine start.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Unlocking gear.
Introducing fuel. It's a good start on 1 and 2. Going over to the main
Tow truck
generators.
disconnected. Bypass pin removed. Left is clear.
Get the
Right is
APU
clear.
off. So, taxiing runway 27, we're gonna get, I would think, Zulu and Alpha. It's Alpha X-ray actually, but Bristol Tower, Tomjet 527, request taxi.
Tomjet 527, runway 27 taxi via Zulu Alpha.
Runway 27 via Zulu and Alpha, Tomjet 527. Okay, taxi lights are on. We are looking good. Get flaps 5 in before we forget. And we'll get our trim in for takeoff. 5.77. Close enough. Close enough. I've actually got my HOTUS here set up as a tiller, just to help, well, both deepen the immersion, but actually if you set up a separate tiller, you actually can taxi a little bit more easily than just using the rudder pedals, so that's been nice. And these connection warnings are spectacularly annoying. If it was just the warning in itself, I wouldn't mind too much, but the bit that I do get frustrated with is all of the services come back except for Bing data. Now I'll have a local cache of this area, so it's not the end of the world, but something seems to have happened in the last week that's made this a lot worse. Bake Game, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Okay. Bristol Tower, Tomjet 527, holding short runway 27, ready for departure.
Tomjet 527, Bristol Tower, wind 260 at 6, runway 27, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 27, clear for takeoff, Tomjet 527. Right, let's get those on. Cool for the cabin crew to get their butts on their chairs. A quick check to make sure there's nothing wrong with our takeoff config. Everything is looking good. It's not a very long runway here at Bristol, so we want to make the most of it. Alright, tiller is in the centre, so we will go 40%. Even start on both engines, pushing the yoke forward and toga.
Airspeed's alive.
Cross check.
V1. Rotate.
Rotate.
V2.
There's the end of the runway, like I say, not a long runway.
Positive rate of climb.
Gear up.
Tomjet 527, contact Bristol departure 136.08.
Bristol departure on 136.08, Tomjet 527. We'll fly the plane first before we worry about them. 136.08. Gear up. Bristol departure, Tomjet 527. Horfer 1 X-ray departure, 2,700 for 6,000.
Tomjet 527, Bristol departure, good day identified, climb to flight level 170.
Climb to flight level 170, Tomjet 527.
Bank angle, bank angle, bank angle.
I don't know why it keeps doing that. It was doing that on a flight earlier. It's the autopilot overbanking the aircraft. Tried. This is what adjusts the bank angle, so hopefully that's brought that back under control. Yaw dampeners on. Okay, let's tidy this plane up a bit. Okay, we're on the 87 track, so we'll increase the speed to 250. Just going to pitch down to gain that speed. Okay, we want to be on standard barometric pressure as we're climbing to a flight level. And we're passing 10,000, so those landing lights can come off. Wandering heading bug aligned. Right, we're past 10,000. Let's let the passengers stretch their legs. Marvelous.
Tomjet 527, contact London Control 118.775.
London Control on 118.775, Tomjet 527. London Control, Tomjet 527, flight level 152 for flight level 170.
Tomjet 527, London Control, radar contact, climb to flight level 350.
Climb to flight level 350, Tomjet 527. I told you we would not be at 29,000 feet. That's okay, it'll get us above this weather, hopefully. Let's not forget to adjust our auto pressure, and let's update the
Bank
FMC.
angle.
Why is it doing that?
Tomjet 527, contact London Control 118.475.
London Control on 118.475, Tomjet 527. London Control, Tomjet 527, flight level 198 for flight level 350.
Tomjet 527, London Control, radar contact.
There's no failures. I could not tell you why it keeps doing that. Let's try and reduce the bank angle yet again. See what that does. I've serviced everything. Nothing is due any maintenance. 5,000 hours. That's due in 250 hours. Pressurization. It's due in 1,000 hours. Wheels and brakes. Due in 300 hours. Strange. There doesn't appear to be any failures. Fuel dampener is on. It's not the tiller because that doesn't work. Speed brakes off, flaps are up. It's very strange. Very strange. Well, we'll keep going and we'll see what happens. Maybe a little bit of Googling after this session. Spotted I've left that microphone in the middle of the camera. I think we'll just move that quickly. I wonder if it's like turbulence or something. Didn't manage to grab the keyboard, so I might be able to Google it quickly. There we go, LNAV oversteer. When making a turn in the flight plan, It's the LNAV. Is this the LNAV issue people have reported? Have you got all the assists turned off? Interesting question. There's people just arguing with each other, having the same problem. Keep looking. Nothing conclusive. I want to get Bing data back on anyway, so let's make sure. Data, get that on. Takes a little while, but it's worth doing. Give it a sec, don't crash. Okay, assistance options. ATC enforced flight plan, ATC voices. No. Maybe it's just that the turbulence is too full on for it. Odd. We've got Bing data back. Let's just see if there's anything else we can find quickly. Some of these are quite old. This is this year. Yeah, someone talking about turbulence here. Okay, interesting. So the bank angle limiter only affects turns done in heading select. of bank angles limited to 30 degrees anyway. Okay, I mean, I'm not the only one. I've never seen it before. I had it on a flight that I did this afternoon. I've never seen it before then. It'd be really slow. Let's call it 0.78. Heading burger back. I mean, it's a hot day. I mean, the QNH of 1021 is pretty high. Let's have a look at the weather where we're going. So QNH is 1017. Let's get rid of this keyboard. So 1017. Winds are 040 at 12 knots. So I can tell you we'll be landing on runway 04. So let's get that dialed in now, 110.9. And it's 044. Let's get the ATIS on COM2 135580. Grand. Nice. We're making some progress. so let's get 1017 ready. It looks like we're going a long way, but now that we're in cruise,
Tomjet 527, contact Paris Control 119.825.
Paris Control on 119.825, Tomjet 527. Paris Control, Tomjet 527, flight level 350.
Tomjet 527, Paris Control, radar contact.
Okay, so we'll be coming in Lusa. We'll be coming down here, and then we'll be coming this way for runway 4 approach. So that's the Lusa 2 November. And no maximum altitude, but there are minimum. It's quite mountainous area around here, so you can see we need to be above 7,000 beyond ATC. There's a habit before it hands you off to radar of telling you to descend to like 3,000 feet and then radar telling you not to do that. So we'll see how that goes. Maximum speed of 250 at SOVAD, and we need to be down to 220 by G Golf 503. Indus need to be above 7,000 because of said terrain here, and then Indus takes us straight onto the 044 glide slope. That should all be fine. A nice touch in the PMDG aircraft. Like, actually, these sun visors have got sort of marks and scratches and stuff on them. Of course, having them there means you can't see all the lovely scenery, but pilots do tend to. They spend a lot of time up in the air. They do tend to have those visors up. So we've got sort of slightly southern slight tailwind, albeit it's coming more from the side. At ground speed of 460 knots. True airspeed 445 knots. Yeah, and we are just cruising at 35,000 feet. It's saying arrival at 2044 Zulu. It won't, I don't think, in my opinion, take anywhere near as long as that. And see, this is the thing, when the Bing streaming service actually works, it looks epically awesome. Epically awesome. And I'm not even sure it's a Microsoft problem. I've done loads of research as to why these streaming services keep switching themselves off. And so far as I can work out, it's throttling by ISPs or other providers, etc. in the network. Yeah, it's definitely bumpy up here. We'll be requesting descent. I find it generally gives you your descent far too late. It's climbed us higher than we intended. I would prefer to descend a leisurely rate, so pim up, just after pim up, between pim up and Pixus. So that is going to be here, somewhere there. That's where our top of descent is going to be. See, a brief disconnect and then comes back. It's a cheeky thing. Something's happened since that small update that came out a few days ago. It was rock solid. The whole thing was working beautifully up until then. What do you think? You haven't got very much to say for yourself. You haven't done very much, have you? Like, if you're pilot monitoring, why am I doing all this ATC and taking all of these notes whilst you just sit there and get paid for doing nothing? Dearie me, just cannot get the staff these days. Oh, it is hotter than the surface of the sun in here, folks. I am not gonna lie, I've got two PCs running, a load of lights on, a VR headset strapped to my face. It is toasty warm. Look at that. thing of beauty. So your runway.
Tomjet 527, contact Paris Control 125.7.
Paris Control on 125.7, Tomjet 527.
Negative, Paris Control on 125.7.
That's what I said, fella. Paris Control on 125.7, Tomjet 527. Paris Control, Tomjet 527, flight level 350.
Tomjet 527, Paris Control, radar contact.
So, see how quickly we've made that distance. Once you get up into cruise, we'll be descending before you know it. It'll be interesting to see if we get more of that overbanking. If we do see more of it, I'm going to reduce that turbulence setting and I've seen plenty of people in the forum saying that actually having it on realistic is actually too much. See, we'll switch to offline mode again. No crashes in the sim at the moment. Adjust the cursed offline mode constantly. There we go, and we're connected again. I don't know why, why is it so overly zealous in switching to offline mode? I mean, did it really need to stream data for that 30 seconds? And then to switch Bing Maps back on is a pain in the butt, because it re-renders all of the scenery. It's very immersion, but it's very frustrating. Raising a support ticket, folks. There we go, connection lost again. It's been crazy bad today. If I show you what I mean when you go into here and go data, switch that on and apply it, the whole world disappears underneath you. Alright, some very noisy birds in my garden, not sure if you can hear that. This is completely immersion breaking. And it'll probably just disconnect again in a second anyway. There we go, it's disconnected already. And now we're in offline mode. I have forwarded ports, I've flushed my DNS cache, I've used a VPN client, I have changed to Google's open DNS service. What else have I done? I'm on a wired connection. Crazy frustrating. Okay, so we're coming up on peaking. And then, yeah, it is not going to be long before we start descending. Sun's starting to come down. I suspect, folks, we're about to get a very beautiful approach into Geneva. I mean, it's every minute almost. It's every 2 minutes. Connection lost, reconnected. Let's hope Flight Simulator 2024 demonstrates a level of stability that I think we've all been craving from Flight Simulator 2020.
Tomjet 527, contact tariff control 118.05.
Paris control on 118.05, Tomjet 527. Paris control, Tomjet 527, flight level 350.
Tomjet 527, Paris control radar contact.
Wowzers. It's really bad. Really bad. That's interesting. So I'm just looking at my sort of bar across the top, sort of suggesting we're only slightly more than halfway there. I can assure you. I suppose that's doing it purely on distance, and on that basis that might be right. I can categorically tell you now we're a lot further in than just over halfway. Just doing those turns absolutely fine. It seems to be when I'm descending and turning. But she is bouncing about this evening. Leave it as it is. If we get a load of problems, then I'll turn those turbulence settings down. You can see the sun is about to go down. In fact, I think what we'll do is get our logo and wing lights on. So once we get past pin up, that's pin up, folks, not pin up. Get your mind out of the gutter. Once we're past pin up, we will request descent. Yeah, I think a support ticket is going to be necessary. I mean, that seems fairly excessive, doesn't it, folks? Ooh. We had an accident then. Stunning. Absolutely stunning. Too far away for the ATIS.
1934 Zulu, wind 040 at 10 few clouds at 6,100. Temperature 18, dew point 12, QNH 1017, landing and departing runway 04, transition level 070. Advise on initial contact, you have information, Sierra.
Wonderful information.
Geneva Airport information.
Information Sierra. You know, it's runway 04, so let's get that in. Oh, that's crazy beautiful. Crazy is nothing like a dusk descent. Paris Control, Tomjet 527, request descent.
Tomjet 527, loser to November, runway 04, descend to flight level 280.
Bluestar to November, runway 04, descend to flight level 280, Tomjet 527. Expect radar vectors, final approach. Cool. see? Look. Bouncing around. We're not even in a turn. That is throwing the aircraft around. I reckon it is that turbulence, you know. Speed brake armed. So it's turning okay at the moment. I think I'm gonna get the seatbelt sign on. It is bumpy. See her bouncing around, look. Wowzers. Bumpy, 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 bumpy. Okay. Heading towards Lucerne now, which is the beginning of our star. Seems to be in some slightly smoother air now. Any time you're ready to give us a further descent, it's alright, we'll do it in our power.
From Jet 527, contact rims control 128.3. Have a good afternoon.
Green control on 128.3. Tomjet 527. Have a good day.
Negative rims control on 128.3.
That's what I said. Green control on 128.3. Tomjet 527. Green control, Tomjet 527, flight level 280.
Tomjet 527, range control identified.
Information, Sierra.
Still Sierra, that's good.
Tomjet 527, descend to flight level 240.
Descend to flight level 240, Tomjet 527. God, this sim is stunning when it wants to be. Look at the absolute... That is... And whatever you're looking at, folks, I mean, I really wish I could convey what it's like in VR. Total depth perception, fully 3D. That is absolutely incredible. Use the speed brake just to get us down a bit faster. I can tell you now, folks, BEYONDATC is going to crash when we get to Geneva. Something about the way that scenery has been made.
Tomjet 527, descend to flight level 200.
Descend to flight level 200, Tomjet 527.
Tomjet 527, contact Geneva transit approach 136.45.
Geneva approach on 136.45, Tomjet 527. Geneva approach, Tomjet 527. Lusail 2 November arrival, flight level 232 for flight level 200 with information Sierra.
Tomjet 527, Geneva transit approach. Good evening, QNH 1017, expect radar vectors for ILS runway 04.
QNH 1017, expect radar vectors for ILS runway 04, Tomjet 527. watching this bank like a hawk. That's perfectly fine.
Tomjet 527, descend to flight level 150.
Descend to flight level 150, Tomjet 527. TBM Pilot asks, how do you get the image stabilized in VR? Mine's all jittery. I use something called the OpenXR Toolkit, and you can reduce the jitteriness. There's a setting in there to effectively smooth it out. It's freeware thing you can download off of GitHub. Also allows you to do things like fixed foveated rendering, where it blurs around the edges, and if you're lucky enough to have a headset with eye tracking in, to do eye tracked foveated rendering, which I have to say is massive game changer. Sorry, I've not been doing a great job of keeping an eye on chat, so apologies if I don't know how long ago you asked that question. I am going to be a little bit focused for the next few minutes as we come in for our final approach here in Geneva. And the shame of the time of day it is that you don't get to see all the mountains and how beautiful the scenery is, etc. Okay, 150. I'm going to go flaps 5. And we're going to start slowing ourselves down.
Tomjet 527, descend to 6,800 feet, QNH 1017.
Descend 6,800 feet, QNH 1017, Tomjet 527. We need to be 220 knots by GG 503. One of my daughters named her hamster GG. GG Munchkin, in fact, no less. And that daughter happens to be 18 in September, so she'll love that I've just mentioned that. Oh. Why are we not descending? I mean, technically we're supposed to stay above 7,000, so, I don't know, maybe let's make that 7,300 and... Okay, actually, no, it's not that bad. There's 4,000 there. 5,300, which we're going to be well above. Yeah, okay. We're probably right to get to 6,800. We'll go gear down.
Tomjet 527, leave Gig 503 heading 210, expect radar vectors for ILS runway 04.
Leave GG 503, heading 210, expect radar vectors, Tomjet 527. Oh, I had to cheat then. I had to cheat then. I wasn't listening properly.
Tomjet 527, turn left heading 215, descend to flight level 080, vectors for the approach.
Turn left heading 215, descend flight level 080, Tomjet 527. It would not give you an altitude and then a flight level like that in that order, because that's what happens. We've overshot it. That's okay. It is in early release. Right, we're going to slow down to 190.
Tomjet 527, turn left heading 140.
Turn left heading 140, Tomjet 527. All of the lights on, and get the cabin crew, get their asses in their seats. Foggy, foggy.
Tomjet 527, 10 miles from Belka, turn left heading 085. Maintain 6,000 feet until established on the final approach course. Cleared ILS runway 04.
Turn left heading 085, maintain 6,000 until established. ILS runway 04, Tomjet 527. We're gonna go flaps 15. And that bank angle warning again, but only very briefly. I can see the runway just there. So I can see localizers coming in. great. Localizers on, we're below the glide slope. Monitor this turn. Yeah, it's all looking good. Roll her out. Yep. Nice. We're going to be doing manual braking today, folks. Don't need the speed brake, but we'll leave her on. Cool. We're on the glide slope. Coming down to 160. It's better. It's a nice smooth air. Right, approach, we're going flaps 30, plus 5 knots, so 155, miles out, should get handoff to the tower in a second, 118.7.
Tomjet 527, contact Geneva Tower 118.7.
There it is. Contact Geneva Tower on 118.7, Tomjet 527. Geneva Tower, Tomjet 527, ILS runway 04, 8 miles.
Tomjet 527, Geneva Tower, continue.
Continue, Tomjet 527. Getting ready for a landing. It's the best bit, folks. It's the best bit, so we'll maintain 160 knots until and we'll probably take Bravo, high speed exit Bravo. Sounds alright. And we'll get ground. I think it always gives me 121. Probably should not be worrying about the ground too much. Let's get that down to 155. ground 121855. I'm certain it always gives me that. One, 2, 1, 855, and it's not too much bother to change. If we want to, let's get the auto throttle off. Auto throttle's off. We are looking good.
Tomjet 527, wind 040 at 10, runway 04, clear to land.
Runway 04, clear to land. Tomjet 527.
1,000.
That's the autopilot coming off, folks. I do like to land her manually. Just helps keep your skills in. Look at that. That is blinking beautiful. We are spot on. Absolutely bob on the numbers.
300.
A little bit low there, but absolutely fine. Oh, nice,
50,
nice.
40, 30, 20, 10.
Versus manual braking. And off this. Oh no, not that one.
Tomjet 527, exit right next available taxiway.
Exit right next available taxiway. Tomjet 527. Flaps coming up. Speed brake disarmed. Oh, not bad, not bad, not bad. Start slowing us down. We get a hand off the ground, and then Beyond ATC gonna crash. You watch.
Tomjet 527, contact ground 121.855.
Over to ground 121.855. Tomjet 527. Geneva ground, Tomjet 527, clear of runway 04 on Bravo.
Tomjet 527, welcome to Geneva Airport. Say parking or advise if need assignment.
Allocated gate is fine, Tomjet 527. And it's crashed. Oh, I knew it would. Oh. I knew it would. Let's get those landing lights off. Let's get the APU started. I'm pretty happy with that landing though, folks. I'm not gonna lie. APU's coming up. Right, where shall we park? something along here. Something in the 60s would be good. Let's just try to work out where we are before we make the decision. We're just coming up to Charlie. So that was 72. So we're just there. We can get like 61, something like that. Gate 2, ramp. Gate 11. Seems like a long way away. I don't want to do that. How do you go back? You can't. Parking 1? Something about the way this scenery has been made that is ramp GA medium. I'm going to do it anyway. 61. That's 66. Let's go 62.
The chosen position is too small for your aircraft.
We'll see. I don't think that that will be the case, but I'm happy to be wrong. 64. So APU is on. Let's get over to that from a power perspective. 64, 63. This is going to be it. I don't remember asking for you. 62. Perfectly big enough. Perfectly big enough. I mean, I think that's fine, if I'm honest. Like, we're going to run all the people over, and that doesn't seem right. Right, parking brake. We're already on the APU, so let's get that off. That off, that off, that off. Hydraulics. Oh, not that one. Your damper off. And we're past 24. So get that off. Strobe off. Chocks on.
This parking is too small for your aircraft.
Nah, it's not. It's fine.
Reporting requested.
How is that too small for my aircraft? Look at it, it's massive. It's exactly the right size for this aircraft. Right, let's get the seatbelt sign off. Taxi lights off. Boom! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Geneva.
Passengers bus is coming. This parking is too small for your aircraft. Passengers, the boarding started.
There we go, folks. We are here at Geneva. Boarding. Come on, look how gorgeous that looks. So, yeah. I think the disconnect problems are a bit frustrating, but actually, I think in the round, that was a pretty cool flight as always. So, our passengers are being deboarded. That's your lot for this evening, folks. It's been a long stream. I'm pretty warm. I'm going to go and spend a little bit of time with my wife. I've got to travel to London tomorrow for work, so it's not going to be a particularly late one. As always, I hope you're very well wherever in the world you are. Stay safe in the skies, and I will see you in my next one.